Marines stationed here. Leave no one standing.
Hold still, I want to learn about you. How's she going, my son? And welcome back to Warframe, Specters of the Rail. Specifically, Update 1.1. Yeah, they've got rid of Update 19, apparently, and have gone all the way back to 1 again. Whatever. Anyway, Update 1.1 in particular releases a new hammer. The Heliocor. Yes, this thing is a hammer. It is not some kind of demented tuning fork. It's a unique little weapon. It's actually a very good weapon on top of that. Let me just, actually I can show you the base stats here. As you can see, comparison to even a similar hammer, while the status is bunk and the attack speed is bunk on this weapon, on the Heliocor, the damage is better, and it still has, actually it has a better critical hit chance than the Jatka tag, which is interesting. And I don't have a War, but I've been told that the War, one of the best weapons in the game, is pretty close to this weapon. Now, the War is better than it, but, you know, this is a close runner-up. Which is interesting, because it's very much not locked out it's not very locked out at all. You need Mastery Rank 9, you need 7,500, or 75,000 rep with Samaris, which is kind of dirt easy to do anyway, and you need to have a Gamma Core to make this weapon with. But, I mean, a Gamma Core is a thing you can buy in the shop. You can buy the blueprints in the market for just credits, and it's a cheap build, and this is a cheap build. Ordis, shush, I'm doing a thing here. But anyway, aside from looking really cool and being a really good weapon, this weapon has a very interesting side effect. Any enemy that you kill with it is scanned into your codex. Now, you need to have a codex scanner of some... Whoops. You need to have a codex scanner of some kind equipped. I have the synthesis scanner, and I have the widget, as they call it, that makes it have infinite charges, but the disposable single-shot ones work, and the disposable synthesis scanners work. Helios wouldn't work specifically, although he would still be taking pictures alongside you if you had enough charges for the both of you. And, yeah, and I'm assuming the hammer consumes charges. Again, I have the infinite scanner. I don't know if it consumes charges, because I have infinite charges anyway. But, well, you know, thing to consider if you have this, but you don't have the infinite charges yet. Like, if anything, get the infinite charges first, then get this hammer. I mean, this is a Mastery Rank 9 weapon, so you're probably going to get the infinite charges first.
If I may say, Operator, your chosen Warframe suits you. Ha, ha.
Never gets old, Ordis. Anyway. What's really interesting about this weapon is that unlike Helios, the Heliocor can actually scan Kavats by smashing their heads in and get you DNA. So we're gonna go show this little weapon off by doing just that. Hopefully. It's still stupidly low odds, but you never know. Derelict's out over here. Exterminate. Now, I've picked Valkyr for this test, because I don't have a potato on this weapon yet, because a lot of people are saying that this weapon might get a better version very quickly, because it's happened before with the Simulor weapons. Like, the Simulor became the Cynoid Simulor, the Gamma Core became the Cynoid Gamma Core. This one is probably going to get a Cynoid Heliocor version very quickly.
The area is crawling with infested. If it's not a 10,
so, you know, people are like, you know, don't go super formatting this thing yet unless you're just going to waste your resources. But, I mean, that's kind of true of any weapon, because, like, like they've said, every weapon can be primed. Eventually. And, you know, who knows what they'll make, like, a Wrath weapon or whatever. But, I mean... But, you know, people are, like, being leery about this weapon in particular, because so far, two for three so far, the weapons that... Lotus, shush, I'm trying to do a thing here. Ugh, anyway. Yeah, sorry to interrupt myself, but as you can see, scanned him when I killed him, and although I already have that particular enemy information maxed out, so it comes out as green. If you hit an enemy that you haven't maxed out yet, you'll hear the click sound, and it'll come out blue, like the click sound of the picture taking you get with the codex. Now, what I was doing with Valkyr, like I said, is because I don't have a lot of potato. I don't have potato on this weapon yet, and I don't have any forma on this weapon yet. And this thing, unfortunately, does not come with any inherent polarities, except for the one for the aura slot, because, you know, most weapons do. And, it's slow. So I put both Berserker and Fury on this thing. I don't have Prime Fury yet. I'm not 200 days in on total login time yet. And, you know, but I want this thing to go fast. Valkyr does that very nicely with her Warcry. Bolt could do it too with speed, but I wanted to play Valkyr for a bit. Now, unfortunately, it cannot scan objects. You know, I can't smash the Cephalon fragment and get a scan out of it. You still need to manually scan objects. But enemies can be... Any enemy that you can smash can be scanned. It is quite glorious. Go. There we go, got the crits going. Did not get a DNA, I don't think. Ow. Gotta be careful. The Crushing Ruin combos, one of them makes you zip forward a lot. Oh. Got a scan of the maggots, because those are kind of hard to scan, little buggers that they are. And even Helios has trouble scanning those because they vanish. They don't leave a body, so... Because Helios can scan a body if he started scanning the living thing, but you can't. But now Heliocor can scan things that get obliterated in one hit, so... As long as the one hit is with the Heliocor, of course. Now, you know, being an impact weapon isn't the best against anything other than shields. And it in fact has penalties against the basic flesh of Corpus... basic flesh of Corpus, Grineer, and the Corpus and Grineer enemies that have been corrupted. But, it doesn't have any resistances, as far as I know. Like, well, okay, like those two, the two flesh ones I mentioned. But, like, there's nothing that's, like, -75 versus blunt or something like that, right? Like, everything is pretty much takes pretty even damage from impact. Now, armor will do a number on it, like any other physical damage type that isn't puncture, because it doesn't ignore any of the armor. But, you know, it's still relatively good. And it'll proc the impact proc the most, although this weapon has dick all status chance, so not really a concern. You know, you'll often kill people before a status proc goes off on this weapon anyway. But, you know, when it does, its highest odds will be impact, which is decent for stun locking people. Although it kind of does that anyway, just from being a hammer. Ooh, pardon me. Not sure where that came from. So you may have noticed, but I have gotten trimmed. I am no longer quite as shaggy a bastard as I was before. Might be going to my grandmother's for her 80th, so I had to look dapper. Or at least not like a hobo. You know, some middle ground between the two. Yeah, I've got a lot of things scanned because when I got Helios, I ran around with him for a while and just scanned everything. Yeah. You, stop lighting me on fire. Ah, okay. Is that a Hayika? Okay, that's just a Hayika. Unfortunately, you cannot get Kavat DNA from a Hayika. I don't know why. It's the same species, it's just been Grineerified. Because that's what a Drek is, I believe is what they're called. They're Grineer Kubros. Because they don't give a crap about aesthetics, they just made them attack animals and they just throw them at you like disposable missiles. Come on. Get in my codex. Ah. Come on. Give me your DNA. Don't take that out of context. Well, unfortunately, like I said, the odds of getting a DNA from a Kavat are pretty low. even if you're scanning manually. So it's kind of difficult to show that this thing can indeed scan Kavat DNA. Now, there hasn't been a patch since this thing has been added in, so it's not like they've taken it out on me and I just didn't realize. Although they might have. I don't think they would, though. Because DE likes its gimmick weapons. And this is a gimmick. Weapon is a bit of a gimmick, but it is a good gimmick weapon, which is interesting. Because, you know, Dark Split Sword and Stradivar, they were gimmick weapons, but they were pretty bad. They were, yeah, they were pretty crap at first. As much as I loved making the Dark Split Sword work for me as something of a challenge, it wasn't a good weapon. They weren't good weapons out of the box. Stradivar is still kind of meh. Dark Split Sword became amazing, though. The double sword version in particular, because the, well, the greatsword version feels more like a greatsword now, because it hits harder but slower. While I'm pretty sure it's still a damage increase, and it would certainly makes speed mods more relevant. Excuse me for a moment. Okay. I love this kind of thing in games. When you can take this, like, you kind of like break the animations a little bit when you swing fast enough. That was always a cool thing in like Diablo 2 and other dungeon crawlers and stuff. Oh. Don't know why she was stuck down there, but okay. Whatever. Do I not have Eternal War on this build? I might not. Oh well. Eternal War meaning I would... Oh no, I do. I just ran out of time. Eternal War being an augment for Valkyr that gives Warcry more duration depending on how many people you murder. Which is kind of cool. It's a bit less useful in a team situation, though, because it's only your kills extend the duration. Like, other people can't extend the duration of their Warcry off of their kills. You extend the whole team's duration whenever you kill something. So if everyone else is getting more kills than you are, eventually you're going to run out of time. But, I mean, hey, everyone's still going to be swinging really fast and murdering people. And, I mean, if everyone's both Warcried and Volt speeded, that, you know, gotta go fast. Did you guys hear something? I thought I heard a cache of some kind. I must be mistaken. Oh well. Oh well. Yeah. Might switch elements when I get out of here. Or no, I just went with the Spoiled Strike, didn't I? Yeah, for more damage. Admittedly, at the cost of more speed reduction, but like I've stacked Berserker and Fury, so... Maybe I'll add an element instead of the Spoiled Strike. I don't know. I'll figure out a way to make this work. Ah, stupid electricity water. Hammers are really good at ragdolling people. Particularly with Crushing Ruin. So, this weapon is no exception. Plus, it makes that cool visual when you do, like, ground slams and stuff. Kinda looks like Vogan's bounce pad. Hey, hey. Ow. Which one of you all freaking deep fried me? Those two guys. I was like, what the hell am I looking for? I was a little confused there. Apologies, by the way, if you hear any fan in this video. It is very warm in Newfoundland lately. And I have to record with all my windows closed and my door closed. So I have to put the fan on or I will be a baked potato. And I don't want to be a baked potato. As much as I love baked potatoes. I don't want to be one. Being one and having one are two very different experiences. Okay, well unfortunately I do not seem to have found any more Kavats. You don't get a lot of them if you do solo missions.
Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
Yeah, did not unfortunately get one. This episode's been pretty short, so I'll go for one more. I'll see if we can luck out and find one, but if not, you're just gonna have to trust me. Or, they have removed it, I'm not sure. I don't think they would, though, because that would kind of defeat the purpose of the weapon. You know, in streamlining the whole Kavat getting process, because I've never gotten a Kavat before. I have... And I've done the grind to have the incubator, which is 10 DNA strands from them, plus a bunch of other stuff. But now I have to do 10 more per Kavat I want. So, you know, however many it takes for me to get both kinds, because there's only 2 at the moment.
Extermination is the only option.
And then, however many it takes for me to get, like, one I want in particular, if I'm breeding them, although I probably won't because I really don't give a shit. I just want the functionality. I really don't care what they look like. I don't even know if there's anything really special with Kavats at the moment anyway. Because, like, the Kubros can have the lotus symbol on their fur. I'm trying to sell a bunch I have now, actually, because I looked at a puppy I had in my orbiter just chilling around, and I'm like, wait a minute. You have a lotus symbol on your face. And then I aged him up and took as much DNA as you can from one animal. You only get 2 imprints. And, yeah. I'm trying to sell them. It's apparently worth a lot of money, but, you know, finding a buyer for that kind of thing is tricky, because, like, you kind of got to use, like, the forums, and, like, I don't know, you get drowned out a lot. Plus, unfortunately, the dog I have isn't the most popular breed, and it's also not popular for the shape of it, because, like, one of the things you can do with Kubros, I don't know if you can do this with Kavats, but with Kubros, you can breed for, like, bulk. So you can have these, like, super jacked-looking dogs that, you know, look like they bench press the character before missions. But, I don't have those, because that takes a bit of work to get. I just have... kind of looks like a coyote, I'll be honest. Kind of looks something like a coyote, or something like a lean wolf or something, and I kind of don't, I don't mind that look, actually, I gotta admit. That's actually... that makes more sense to me. Plus, I find the ones that are, super bulked out kind of dumb looking, to be honest. Like, it doesn't match in my mind. Why does my war cry keep wearing off? I've been murdering things non-stop. Oh, we got one. Did I get another one? No, I just got the one. That's cool though. So you know, concept proven. You can indeed get Kavat DNA by bashing them in the head with this weapon, which is awesome. Because it's a lot less fiddly than trying to actually scan them, because they are very nimble. And you would have to bring like a crowd control ability on a frame or something. But now you can do it as long as you have this hammer, which is, you know, always a good thing. Options. And actually, that's something I wanted to bring up while I have a second here to talk, because we're not finished the mission. There needs to be more options for people to get loot vacuuming. Because you see the little floating chummy to my right here? Or my left? Yeah, my left. That's Carrier Prime. Only he and his classic version, which is basically the same thing, only made out of tissue paper. Carrier Prime is way more swole. But yeah, you kind of need... You have to have them to have the loot gathering ability. You know, things get vacuumed towards you instead of you having to almost like walk right on them to pick them up. Well, okay, there's two other ways to do it, but they are both kind of bad. Although one is a free gimme, so it's not terrible. Mag, or Mag Prime, when bullet jumping, hoovers up things around her in like an explosion area around the bullet jump, which is neat. And there's a dog, a Kubro, that fetches things. However, they do so very slowly. And if they're in combat, they won't do it at all, which is kind of defeats the point, because that's what you wanted them to do. They're like, there's no way to tell a Kavat or a Kubro to not attack, because with the Sentinels, you actually have to put in a mod that gives them the priority of attacking, and then you put it where their other ability, like for example with the Sentinels, you have the medic beam, you have the shield restore ability, you have their exclusive ability, and then their attack, and possibly some other things. And well, I don't have any more because Carrier is now dead. Excuse me for a moment. But to give you an idea, like, you know, I gotta get, like, that close to pick up something, and I usually have to be on the ground to do that as well. Oh, I actually ran out of energy. Yeah, they kind of fixed how efficient Valkyr was at energy management in Hysteria mode. I don't know, I read something about it getting better if you, what do you call it? If you, kill more in Hysteria? But, it doesn't... Oh, that might just be the damage mechanic. You know, the self-damage mechanic that happens if you're too close to someone who will break out of Hysteria. But yeah, that mechanic gets better if you kill a lot. But otherwise, I think the energy cost is consistent based on your mods and such. But I run Rage on Valkyr because she is, like, literally the most armored frame in the game, and has one of the worst shields in the game. The only one worse being Ineros, because he doesn't have one at all. So, she takes a lot of health damage, and thus Rage makes a lot of energy, which lets her Hysteria, which lets her regenerate her health. Vicious cycle of life, basically. But yeah, I was talking about options. It would be good if there was a way for players to get loot vacuuming without being stapled to Carrier all the time. Because that's one of the reasons why I don't use a lot of the other companions, barring the occasional, like, I want to do something different today feeling. Like, if I'm doing anything remotely, I don't want to say serious, but, like, remotely I'm trying a lot more, like I'm not doing a goofy gimmick or whatever, I have Carrier Prime equipped. Mostly because, as a Sentinel, he has the medical beam and the shield restore beam, and the shield restore ability. Something only one of the Kubros can shield restore, and no organic companion can do the medical beam thing, because that's Sentinel exclusive. He has the loot vacuum, which is a Carrier exclusive entirely, and and then I just equip, you know, his attack mod, which is a shotgun. Something the organic companions can't do because they just have their claws and mouths. Admittedly, they do pure slash damage, which is kind of cool if they proc a status or just crit really hard. But you know, I can mod the gun of my Sentinel the same way I can mod my own guns, making it a lot more versatile. But even then, like, even if I narrow myself to using only Sentinels, the clear-cut winner is Carrier Prime in my mind. You know, because I want to have all of the loot drops in my pocket. just for greed, first and foremost. But also, if I'm running a weapon with an ammo mutation mod, I want to have all the ammo hoover to me every time I have less than full ammunition in my reserves. Like that. So it would be cool, just for the sake of variety, if I could get loot radar on something other than... Or not loot radar, loot vacuuming on something other than mag/mag prime bullet jumping, which is passive and stuck to her exclusively, and carrier, because I kind of don't count the dog that can do it, because that dog has a far better ability that I would want her to be using anyway, with the ability to disarm people. So, you know, I don't even equip the loot getting ability with them because it's so inconsistent. Whereas with Carrier Prime, with Carrier Prime, the ability to loot radar is just built into this mod, which costs dick all to equip. Particularly because you're always going to have it on one of these slots anyway. And, yeah. Like, and it's just good. It's just good. Like, I would love it. Like, give me an aura for a Warframe that lets you hoover up ammunition, hoover up loot close to you. Right? Give me an aura, or give me a mod. I will use a mod space on my Warframes to get all of my drops and let me use a different companion instead of just carrier all the time. I will do that because I'm nuts like that. I'm willing to do that. A lot of people absolutely min-max like their damage or their or like how much energy they generate with Trinity or the healing, and you know, like they min-max so hard that sometimes they don't even have the basic survivability mods in there. Stuff that increases your armor. I mean, not every Warframe can make use of those ones anyway. But, you know, the stuff that increases your health and your shields. Those two are ones that almost every Warframe can use. Like, health in particular, because every Warframe has a health bar. You know, that's a bit of a no-brainer. The only Warframe that can't use shield mods really well is Inaros. Like, even Valkyr benefits from Vigor a little bit. Admittedly, she benefits from shield mods the worst, except for Inaros, because he doesn't benefit from them at all, because he's a statistical anomaly. But, you know, like, people are so bleeding edge min-max in this game sometimes, they don't even equip, you know, they don't even equip basic survivability mods. And then they bitch when I have to come over and pick their ass up off the ground. Because I often am. Because even when I'm not Inaros, I equip mods that make me not squishy. So people wouldn't equip this mod, this theoretical mod that lets you have loot hoovering on your Warframe. I would, I think. Although I would love it if it was one of these mods.
Operator, please return covered in blood. Safe and sound.
Ortis, come on, man. I'm doing a thing here. Ugh. Anyway, like if it was an Exilus mod. Now, I don't have it equipped or unlocked on Valkyr yet. I'm very stingy about using those adapter things that open that slot up because I don't want to make them, and I'm not going to buy them. Because the making of them is almost more painful than buying them with real money. Something I wish they would look at, but, you know, if they're content with it, whatever. It is an optional thing, and it's not a thing you absolutely need, so, you know, it's not a big deal. I have one in storage at the moment, because I get one for free at my 150-day login, but I'm not gonna use it yet. I don't know what I'll use it on. Maybe one of my primes I've got recently. But yeah, like this mod slot is specifically designed for mods that are utility. Like, none of these help you in direct combat. Like, I mean, okay, being mobile does to an extent, but, like, most of these are things like passive good stuff, radar abilities, the hacking mod, this, which is garbage, but, I mean, Retribution, which is kind of garbage, but it's kind of cute at the same time. I might do a build with it at some point. You know, movement speed stuff. Like, all of these things are not going to help you directly shoot a dude in the head or use your special abilities to do damage. That's what every other mod is for. You know, that's what all these mods are for. But the Exilus mod would be a good place for a theoretical loot mod. Although I would take it as an aura too, because especially if it means me equipping this aura gives loot hoovering to my whole team. So then we could all use something other than Carrier. You know, that would be awesome. Not that I have anything against Carrier. Like, even with this mod, I would probably still use Carrier sometimes because he's a little flying robot with a shotgun. What's not to love? But, you know, I've gone significantly off target with the main content of this episode, considering it was supposed to be about the Heliocor. But, I mean, the Heliocor was related to the argument about the whole, about choice. Because with the Heliocor, you have 3 ways to scan enemies in this game now. As long as you're on foot. This doesn't work in Arcwing, because it's not an Arcwing weapon. But on foot, you can use traditional scanners, which is just a gear equipment piece that you use. You can use Helios, who will use them for you on most things, including objects. And the Heliocor, which while it can't scan objects, can scan enemies while bashing their heads in. So, you know, you got your double value right there. And it looks like a strand tuning fork. But, you know, that's the weapon. The Heliocor. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and particularly listening to my rambling today. Twitter, Tumblr, and subscription are in the description as usual. Please subscribe. I would love to have the channel grow and to reach more people, to reach my content, be it Warframe or otherwise. The Tumblr and the Twitter are optional, but I would recommend you follow the Twitter because it gives you a more accurate update schedule of when I manage to update. Although I do apologize for a slight lull again. I'm finding it hard to be consistent. I don't know if I'll ever be consistent, like one a day or even one every other day. I have to admit, whenever I find something new to do, that's something that really catches my passion, I obsess over it. I really, like, overindulge in it because I have Asperger's syndrome and I'm, you know, a high-functioning form of autism. I get hooked on things and I get stuck on them pretty hard, but then I burn out and then I go to do something else. You know, like, admittedly, the burnout could be as little as like a week, if it's like maybe a food item or something, or it could be, well, for Warframe, it's still going. It's still going because I'm still in love with this game, and, you know, I haven't burned down on this game yet. I will admit, though, I haven't gone quite as hard on it as I have recently. I have been doing other things, playing like old PlayStation games and stuff, digging my old consoles out of storage, having some other things to do, but, you know, like, my earlier channel, potency, or channel schedule, I guess, that was part of me obsessing over the fact that I was doing YouTube videos. This is a little more accurate to what you will get. However, I would love to improve. I would love to make it that even after my obsession with the channel wears off, that it becomes better. That it becomes something I can do more easily. Or I just get the obsession again. Either way. It comes and goes in circles. You know, because sometimes I'll be obsessed with a particular old game, and then when I beat it, I drop it cold turkey and go to something else. That's how life works. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. And this is the Heliocor.